Hey guys, Hellstorm here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to download, well not how to download, but how to rip models from N64 games. This should work with most or all of them if they're compatible with Nemu64. Speaking of which, you can get that from here. The link should be in the comments. Download Nemu64.zip, not the source code or anything. And then once you've extracted it, run Nemu64.exe. Then we're going to load our ROM. For this example, it's going to be B3313. Not sure if it works with an shifted ROM, but just in case, I'm using an unshifted ROM right now. So, just for the sake of time, I'm going to use, actually, wait, start display might not be compatible here. But, yeah, start display is not compatible with this hack, so, well, not with this hack, but not with this, it's not compatible with this, emulator. Actually, it might be. Hold on. Nope, it is not compatible with Nemu64, so that's too bad. So, alright, so I'm gonna load my 1.0.3 ROM since it's a lot easier and like I have test pipes and stuff. So, oh, okay. So I'm gonna load my 1.0.3 and there should be a test pipe right. Nope, I don't have test pipes in this version. Alright, well, I believe I did. Okay. Well, just for the sake of this, then I'm going to load Cammy's 1.0.3 ROM because that does have test pipes. And okay. Yep, test pipes. So we're gonna. So a good example of abilities, it's gonna be. Okay, this will work fine. So what we're gonna want to do now that we're here is we're gonna go to. I'm not sure if it loads the entire model in at once. I think it does, but actually, yes, it does. Well, actually, I'm not sure since B3313 has a bunch of, like, optimizations I don't know about, so it might have, yeah, there is a chance that it has colon, so, just in case, we're going to go to a place where we can see most of the level from, you know, like, just in case we want to load it in. Damn, this place is bigger than I thought. So we're gonna go to the very end of it. I don't know why there's a bunch of trees floating around the place, but you know, whatever. I'm not gonna question it. I'm not gonna question Cammy's vision. So we'll go to the end here. Load in most or all of it, so now we're going to go to video plugin, export VRML. Okay, that means it's exported, that means we don't need the emulator anymore. So we're going to go to the same folder as the ROM, because that's where by default it dumps the model. So now we have this, and WRL, what the hell is that? I'll show you in a sec. So basically it's like model formats. It's not loaded by very many modeling programs anymore, but that's alright because we're gonna download the N64, what's it called? Baltard's N64 mapping tool. Yep, this is it. So we're gonna want to go to 2.0, download that, and then once you have it, you're gonna want to load the not OBJ. It's not OBJ yet, but you're gonna want to load the you're gonna load the WRL, the model that got dumped, and we'll convert that to an OBJ, and I'll just save it here for the sake of. Actually, no, I'm gonna create a new folder just so that the materials can also be preserved there. Uh, and we're gonna want to save it here. Now it's not done yet. So what I like to do just in case is, well, first of all, you have to copy the textures into the OBJ folder, the materials. Copy basically everything from the model dump folder except for the actual WRL. Everything else copy paste into the same folder as the OBJ and the MTL. You need the MTL. So now that we have that, what I like to do just in case is in case like it didn't work properly, is the add materials, which is also a feature of the mapping tool. And once it's done that, it should actually, no, well, in case it doesn't load, we'll do that, but you shouldn't do that just for the sake of it. It could make more things go wrong. So now we're gonna open up Blender. If I can find it, yeah, there it is. So we're almost at the point where if you're a Blender user, you can stop now and you can just use it like for whatever you want. It might need a bit of like realignment since the first dump I did, it was misaligned, but I'm not sure if that's like every time. So we're gonna import a wavefront OBJ. Where was it? Yeah, here. Wait, what? Oh yeah, there. So here, here, here. Okay, so it did rip the whole model. That's good. We'll load the textures, and yep, it worked. It loaded the materials as well. That's good. So as you can see, yes, the rotation is a bit off, but if you're a Blender user, you should know how to realign it by now. I'm not going to show you how to do that. It looks like there may be a few missing triangles, or that might just be a model error made by Cami when making it. But yeah, if you're a Blender user, this is a point where you can stop and use it for whatever you want. But if you're a SketchUp user, then that's not the case yet. So SketchUp I also know how to correct the alignment a lot easier. So we're going to export a collada, and just for the sake of the demonstration, we're going to go back to this folder. We're going to go to Cami shit. We're going to make a new folder for DAE. You don't need to do this, but I like to do that for like neatness. And we're going to save it as let's just say Cami Courtyard. Yeah. Alright. So we'll export that. Actually, wait, no. I take that back. We're gonna actually wait, can I do that? I'm a bit new to using Blender, but this should work fine. So actually, I forgot how to merge meshes, but if you want to merge meshes, you can do that, and there won't be any problems. It'll probably optimize it as well. Actually, wait. Control J. Okay, so we're gonna select the whole level. Press Control J, and it's now all one mesh. So just for the sake of neatness, I'm gonna rename it to. Actually, no, I'm not gonna rename it just in case that screws something up. So now we're gonna export the collada again. We're gonna overwrite this one. Actually, not sure if Blender overwrites stuff well, or if it just mixes them, so we'll delete it and then export it. So now I'm not going to save this because I don't use Blender. So now we're going to, this is my Warp Worlds folder, but I don't want to like put random shit in it, so I'm going to put the SketchUp file here. So the version of SketchUp I'm using right now for this is Make 2017. And if you're looking for like a good free version of SketchUp that works well and has most of the features, then you should probably use Make 2017 as well. I'll have the link in the comments as well with the other ones. So let's see. 1.0 free stuff. In case you're wondering why I have all this stuff, I used to be a 1.0 free developer, in case you didn't know. So yeah, I guess that's kind of cool. And as you can see, it has all the materials. We're going to need to explode the group. And now, as you might have noticed, it also dumped all the objects as well. So you are going to manually need to remove the objects, at least the ones that are rendered. The ones that are out of the field of view, it's fine. It doesn't load those. You don't need to worry. Now, as you can see, it also converts the UV maps, so you don't need to manually go through and like struggle with that shit. So, yippee! So it looks like the only objects that it loaded are the trees here, so that's lucky. Oh, and Mario. It always dumps Mario's model unless you've like removed Mario's model or something. So basically we're going to want to start by removing all the objects. They shouldn't be there, and they just cause, like, even if you remove their materials and their rendering and collision, it still causes a bit of lag. Unless it auto removes. I don't know if ROM Manager does that, so yeah, for this demonstration I'm using ROM Manager, but if you use Blender and Fast64, the same process should work for decomp. First let's make sure that the normals are correct. Yes, looks like it. So now we're gonna export an OBJ. And this is gonna be our final OBJ. And we'll save it here. Now we're gonna open up ROM Manager. It's a bit slow for some reason, but on the newest version, but we'll open up ROM Manager. Jesus, this is being slow. Okay, there we go. So now that ROM Manager's open, well, first I'm going to prepare a ROM. So I'm not going to provide the link in this, just so that the Nintendo ninjas don't strike me down. You can find this yourself. We'll rename this to... Actually, I should use a... Yeah, I'm going to use a B331 free ROM because I'm not sure... Yeah, it has like ultra extended boundaries, and I don't think that this area could fit in vanilla Mario 64. So, B331 free silved. I'm not going to provide the link for this. You can find it elsewhere. Or you can find... Actually, yeah, I'll provide the link in the comments. It'll be fine. It'll be a BPS, so you need to patch that yourself. So, now we're going to go to 1.0 free stuff. We'll open up this. By the way, silv just means unshifted, in case you were wondering. So now, what area should... Okay, yeah, we got empty areas here. So, we're going to add an area. We'll load the model that we just had. This one. Actually, no, not that one. The exported one. Yeah, this. So, diffuse position, always set it to 8192. Okay, that's good. Graphics editor. you may need to manually fix some of the materials, but like replace some with better textures, but like for example the decals, they don't like load correctly, and I'm pretty sure that this is a misinterpreted emulation of vertex coloring, like in a material, not sure, but probably is. You can replace that with like an all black material if that's what it's meant to be. So, but all the other like normal RGBA 16 or IA 16 textures, or like ones that are full textures that aren't single color, they should be fine, like this for example, or this or this. So we'll convert it. Scale should be 500 to, yeah, the scale should be 500. Okay, so now we're gonna move the starting warp to a good place for that. It'll be, let's just say right here. And oh shit, it's still rotated. So you may need to fix that manually, but yeah, it shouldn't be that hard to fix by yourself. Basically just use the rotation tools within what program you're using. Apparently align axes doesn't work very well, so now that we're using a better emulator, we can use star display, and it's gonna be fight free, area ID free. So we'll go here. And as you can see, it did load correctly. Actually, no, the scale's a bit off. So the scale might need a bit of correction, but as you can see, it does load. You may need to find the scale yourself. I'm pretty sure that it might be half scale, so let's try 1,000. Or 750. Well, we're gonna try 1,000 first. Alright, that looks about right, so once again, we'll save ROM and launch the ROM. And star display again. Warp to level. We're gonna go once again, fight free, area ID free. That doesn't change. And yes, this is the right scale. So the scale appears to be 1,000 for models dumped. As you can see, it still is rotated. A bit weird. You're going to need to fix that yourself, but it's not that hard. And yeah, that's how you dump N64 game models and load them into like SketchUp or Blender, and even into ROM Manager. So I hope that was helpful, and yeah, come back soon on the 26th to see Warped World's 5-year anniversary release. I'll see you guys in the next one.